Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Pablo and welcome back to GGsports. I'm bringing you guys another episode of the Cincinnati Bengals rebuild here in Madden 19. And before we get started with this episode, I want to remind you guys to leave a like. Let's try to get this video to 10 likes and subscribe if you're new. Go ahead and hit that bell icon below the video to stay notified every time I drop another one of these videos. But the Cincinnati Bengals are getting toward the end of the season, and each one of these games count. Every game has heavy playoff implications. The Bengals are competing for the final wild card spot. They're competing primarily with the Cleveland Browns and either the Chiefs or the Chargers. One of those are going to be the division winner, but it is really Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns we really have to worry about. Right now they're 7-7, so we have a leg up, but we have to keep it up. The Bengals are on a 4-game win streak, but we're looking pretty good. Our players are playing with confidence. We actually get an upgrade to Billy Price, second-year center out of Ohio State. And we can always use upgrades to the offensive line, and we actually get another one to Cody Ford, our rookie right tackle. And he hasn't really panned out the way we thought he would, but it is still early. He's a 75. He will get better. But the Bengals, like I said, they're playing with confidence right now. Last week, they were able to get a division victory over the Baltimore Ravens, and I called that a must win, and the Bengals really showed up. Tyree Jackson put up career numbers. Joe Mixon was phenomenal. But speaking of Jackson, our rookie QB out of Buffalo, we do give him an upgrade to his West Coast attribute. That brings it to a 64 and brings his overall to a 74 right now. Then Sean Williams, our strong safety, gets an upgrade to his hybrid attribute, and that brings his overall to an 84. And the final thing we're going to look at before we get into the game versus Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks on the road, we're going to look at the AFC and the NFC players of the week. Tyree Jackson did win the honors for his 17 for 26, 300-yard, and 3 pass touchdown performance. So, like I said, the Bengals are going on the road to play against the Seattle Seahawks, who are 3-10-1 on the season. But still, you just can't sleep on Russell Wilson and the 12th man. So, the Bengals, like I said before, they're on a 4-game win streak, 8-6. Every game matters. They have to come into this stadium, this hostile environment, and play aggressive. They have to continue to do what they've done on this win streak, which is run the ball and make stops consistently on defense. And I think they can do that versus this team who has only won 3 games in this season. But Russell Wilson having a pretty good season himself, 21 touchdowns and 3,500 yards. But the Bengals can get fancy. They can get cute. They simply have to just stick to what works. And the first pass of the game for Russell Wilson will be picked off by William Jackson III, and that will be his 4th interception of the season, and the Bengals start off the game in the perfect way. Great field position for the offense, and William Jackson continues to be the heartbeat of this Bengals defense. But Tyree Jackson is going deep on first down to AJ Green, who toe taps his way to the 34-yard reception, falling to the ground, keeping his feet in bounds. Tyree Jackson stood in the pocket, took the hit, still showed very good ball placement with this pass. Excellent pass, getting it past 3 Seahawks defenders. On the next couple of plays, Tyree Jackson lofts one up to Tyler Boyd, who is wide open, and the Bengals' perfect start on the road continues as we take a 7-point lead here after the extra point. And some very impressive play calling there by Zac Taylor, coming out on the road, being aggressive and making sure we cashed in on the defense's takeaway and asserting ourselves early in this game. I think we were able to do that. Russell Wilson, though, on 3rd down and 4, he's going to decide to throw this one away. And the Bengals force another punt and have another chance to put points on the board as they try to continue their storybook start to this must-win game versus the Seattle Seahawks. 3rd down and 7. Pocket is closing in on Tyree Jackson, who is picked off by Bradley McDougald, and he is trying to take this one all the way for 6. One man to beat. That's Cordy Glenn. He's going to beat him every time. He takes it all the way for the touchdown. And just like that, things are tied up at 7 after the extra point. Bradley McDougald showcasing some amazing vertical that time, going all the way up there to come up with the interception. And our offense could not put anything together as they turned it over on downs after the pick six. And now the Seahawks are threatening to take the lead in this game, and hopefully the Bengals can create a stop in the red zone. They've been very impressive this season doing that. Third down and go, they do have a chance to get off of the field, but instead it is Tyler Lockett coming up with a touchdown catch from Russell Wilson, taking a huge hit from Alec Ogletree, and not too many hold on to the ball after taking one of those from Alec Ogletree, as he has wreaked havoc all over the middle of this Bengals defense this season. As you guys know, he's been a very, very impressive free agency acquisition, but all of a sudden the Bengals find themselves down on the scoreboard and having to respond to a touchdown just scored by the Seattle Seahawks. Third down and 3, John Ross comes up with this catch and is able to move the chains. Another third down, now from the 16-yard line, Tyree Jackson is sacked, and he took a huge hit from the blind side by Shaq Griffin, who is an impact player for the Seattle defense this year. He's played very well and continues in this game. And Cole Beasley, I forgot to mention, that is an acquisition that the Seattle Seahawks did make. Cole Beasley comes up with a huge gain, but the drive would still eventually fizzle out because Tyler Lockett made a bad move there and forced them to settle for 3, but they do increase their lead back to 7 as we are trailing 17-10. And on third down and 6, we are trying to put some points on the board with under a minute to go before half. Tyree Jackson going deep to John Ross for the touchdown. A beautiful tiptoe catch allows the Bengals to tie things up heading into halftime, where they will get the opening second half kickoff. Great way to capitalize on the opportunity, and a very nice pass by Tyree Jackson and a great catch by John Ross. Both have been very pivotal in the run that the Bengals have been on as of late. But Russell Wilson does have a little bit of time left, and he's going to get his team at least in the field goal range. And can they capitalize? They do put 3 points on the board, so they do retake the lead before half. And as you know, we have to go around the league. What's going on? We really wanted the Browns to lose this game, but they win 35-14 behind a huge day of Baker Mayfield. And like I said, that is who we have to watch out for. But again, we do hold a 1-game lead over the Cleveland Browns, so if the Bengals win out, including this game, they will be just fine. Like I said last week, they just have to control what they can and just win the games that are on their schedule. But Joe Mixon, again, showing why he's a weapon in the passing game as well, as he takes the reception up for a pretty nice gain there. But our drive would stall out before we can get to the red zone. But Randy Bullock does get the field goal, and we do tie things up at 20 with about 5 minutes to go here in the third. Russell Wilson stepping up in the pocket, fires another one into Nick Vanette, who has been tearing the defense apart. He's definitely been a safety valve for Russell Wilson, who fires another one into Cole Beasley, beating the coverage of Leon Hall. And that is why we want to give Levi Wallace more snaps. We want to ease him into the scheme. But the Seattle Seahawks do retake the lead in this game, and it is who else? Nick Vanette waving to the crowd, and the Seahawks retake the lead in this game 27-20. And you would not think this was a 3-10 team. The Bengals are currently in a shootout with this squad, and they, like I said, they've only won 3 games this season, and we have to play better coverage on the middle. Nick Vanette, again, this time he's beating Drake Kirkpatrick, so maybe it's just Nick Vanette. He's playing pretty well today so far, and it seems like he's gotten a lot better, taking another step, taking his game to the next level for the Seahawks. But going to the outside, Russell Wilson finds Tyler Lockett as they are driving once again, but Vontaze Burfict with a clutch sack, pushing them back for an important loss of yardage, and that's going to push them just out of field goal range as they miss the field goal attempt. And making this a 2-possession game with 8 minutes to go would have been devastating for the Bengals' chances, but we do have a shot. Tyree Jackson back to pass on third down, lofts one up to AJ Green, who had a step on Griffin, but caught up to him, tackled him, and AJ dropped it. How disappointing. Our defense had a chance to get off the field, but Russell Wilson checks this one down to Jalen Richard. Another addition to the Seattle offense. 3rd down and 17 on that same drive. They actually come very close, and they actually do convert that 3rd down. And that is a demoralizing blow for the Bengals, as they had them on 3rd down and 17 and couldn't get off the field. And another 3rd down. Russ fires one into Cole Beasley and gets them in the red zone. They're able to run the clock out and kick a field goal with 1 minute left. And that'll put them up 10, 2 possessions, and nothing that the Bengals could have done at that point. They lose this game to a 3-10-1 Seattle Seahawks team. And just a bad turn of events to close this game. We can't allow a drive that long by the offense there. That was just very demoralizing by the defense. Offense had a chance to put something on the board, but had to punt. I mean, I'm sure they thought they'd get the ball back, but not able to do that. The defense, like I said, allowed a very long drive by the Seattle Seahawks to put this game away. The Bengals were neck and neck with the Seahawks. This was a game that we thought should have been much less competitive. The Bengals, the way they were playing, they were on a 4-game win streak, beat much better teams than this one. But that goes to show you the inconsistency of the Cincinnati Bengals just as a franchise. This is what the Bengals do. They play to the level of competition. That is something, if you followed the Marvin era, it followed them throughout that era, and it seems as though it's carrying over just a bit to Zac Taylor's era. But Cole Beasley was huge for the Seattle Seahawks in this game. So was Nick Van Nett. 94 yards for Nick Van Nett. Not a great game by Tyree Jackson. Definitely contributed to this loss, throwing the pick 6 there. But like I said, the Bengals, they really needed this game, but they weren't able to come up with it. So they do fall to 8-7. They're even with the Cleveland Browns now. So now they need the Browns to lose because they did get swept by the Browns. They own the tiebreaker. So the Bengals cannot go to the playoffs if the Browns win. They are eliminated if the Browns win. So we will stay tuned for that as the Bengals close the season versus the Baltimore Ravens. Not only do we have to hope for a Browns loss, we also have to win versus the Ravens. So that would mean a sweep of the Ravens. And I don't know how often that happens in Cincinnati, but we'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. We get some upgrades to close this episode out. Like I said before, let's get this video to 10 likes. I know we can get it there. Definitely appreciate any support you guys give on the video. If there's any feedback you guys want to give me, anything I can do to make this series more enjoyable for you, any points, tips, anything, leave a comment, let me know. Definitely appreciate any comments, any feedback. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.